Welcome to the Deep Dive. We're here to unpack some really fascinating source material and pull out the key nuggets of knowledge for you. Today, we're diving into something pretty profound, actually. It's the thinking behind the journey of redemption, uncovering the quiet decisions that lead to loud transformations. And this isn't just, a standard book. It's more like a framework, a toolkit, really. It's designed to make you think, reflect, and inspire some very practical, real-world actions. So our mission here today is to explore how these, quiet decisions can genuinely spark what the material calls loud transformations. And not just in abstract ways like spiritual growth, but also the really tangible areas, think leadership, community work, that sort of thing. The sources we're drawing from are incredibly practical. We've got discussion questions, reflective exercises, application ideas, even actionable to-do lists. Think of it as a shortcut, getting those deep insights, those aha moments.
Yeah, and what's really funny, Zuzule grabs me. Sorry, what really grabs me is the core idea running through it all. It's this concept of nurturing growth, but incrementally through what they call micro decisions. And that, it really pushes back against a lot of common ideas about how big change happens, doesn't it? Instead of focusing on these huge dramatic moments, it offers a fresh look, maybe a more accessible way to see how transformation actually unfolds, one small, deliberate choice after another.
That idea, the micro decisions, it immediately makes me think about something the material suggests, a really interesting shift in perspective. It asks, what if our whole approach to something like, say, evangelism shifted fundamentally, moved away from focusing only on conversions towards nurturing that gradual, incremental spiritual growth through these tiny decisions? That feels like a big reframe for a lot of people. What's your take on that?
Oh, it's a huge shift, absolutely. A paradigm shift, really. For me, it instantly broadens what we even mean by success in that context. If you connect that idea to the bigger picture using this micro decisions framework, it really changes how we understand things like discipleship or outreach. It sort of encourages a move towards something more relational, more dialogue-based, makes outreach feel more, organic, and maybe more sustainable than just event-focused efforts. Does that resonate with you?
Totally. It feels more authentic somehow, more focused on the long game. And it makes me think about you listening right now. How has your own definition of faith or maybe spirituality, how has that changed over your life? And maybe more specifically, can you pinpoint any of those quiet, maybe seemingly small micro decisions of faith that actually had a huge impact on shaping what you believe today? So we're talking about these external shifts, but then the material pivots. And this is where I think it gets really interesting. It turns inward to the internal challenges we face, doubts, uncertainties in our spiritual lives. Think about a time maybe you faced something like that. Was it purely an intellectual puzzle for you? Or were there, emotional hurdles involved too?
That's such a critical point, the emotional side. Because understanding those internal dynamics it's crucial. Emotional barriers can definitely get in the way of effective communication, can't they? Whether that's in personal life, leadership roles, ministry. And the material really stresses that building trust and empathy is essential for getting past those barriers. It encourages seeing these emotional hurdles not as roadblocks to dodge, but maybe as actual opportunities, opportunities for a deeper connection, for growth. They become invitations, really.
Invitations, I like that. Embracing emotional barriers as opportunities. That really turns the common view of doubt on its head, doesn't it?
It does.
Which leads me to wonder, what other assumptions do we hold, maybe without even realizing it, about spiritual growth or transformation? Assumptions that might need a second look through this kind of lens.
And maybe bringing it right back to your own leadership. Think about a decision you made recently as a leader. What were the underlying beliefs or assumptions driving that decision? And how might thinking about it in terms of micro decisions, those small intentional shifts have led you down a different path or maybe produced a different result? It's really about seeing how those smaller choices can ripple outwards.
Okay, so let's get practical. How do we actually do this? Because the material isn't just theory, right? It gives us these structured exercises. They're specifically designed to help you connect the ideas to your own experience.
Exactly. And they're nicely broken down. You've got reflective exercises, then practical applications, and finally, actionable to-do list exercises. And the goal behind all of them is pretty significant. Deepen your self-awareness, challenge those assumptions we just talked about, help you actually use this stuff in your life and work, and really foster ongoing improvement. They're designed to take you from just understanding to actually doing.
Right. And those reflective exercises, they're not just like random journaling prompts. They're meant to be like a mirror to show you where maybe your actions don't quite line up with your values. For example, one asks you to really look hard at how you define success. Is it sustainable? Is it really leading you where you want to go? That quiet reflection can spark a pretty loud realization about your life's path. Another really good one helps you identify a professional challenge that keeps popping up. Instead of just powering through, it guides you to think about how a different mindset using these principles could totally change how you tackle it. And there's a very practical one about picking a leadership habit, maybe one to start, one to stop, or one to just tweak, and actually making a plan to bring more sort of human-centered leadership into your day-to-day.
hmm Then you shift gears to the practical application exercises. These are all about testing the principles out in the real world. So for instance, you might take a core principle like cultivating trust. The material talks about this as consciously building psychological safety, open communication. You'd apply that idea to a real challenge your organization is facing, and then importantly, reflect on what happened. What were the outcomes? Another one focuses on adaptive thinking. You'd pick a decision-making process you use regularly and then apply a new perspective from the material, like planting truth, which is about digging for foundational facts, not just surface stuff, to see how it reframes the decision. And then there's future-proofing strategies. This involves using principles like harvesting the will, which is about figuring out and aligning with the collective purpose and drive to look ahead, to anticipate future trends or disruptions, and then outline small strategic actions you can start now to set yourself or your team up for success down the road.
Okay, but theory, reflection, even trying things out. How do
Yeah.
we actually connect all this to our, busy daily lives?
Yeah.
That's where the actionable to-do list exercises come in. These are really about getting thoughts out of your head, getting clear on priorities, and staying focused. Take capture and clarify. It sounds simple, but it's powerful. It's not just making a list. It's like a mental download. You spend maybe 15 minutes just dumping every single thought, task, worry, idea onto paper. Get it out of your head. The idea is this frees up mental energy, right? Makes space for better thinking.
Exactly. Clearing the decks.
Then you define next actions. This is key. Turning those vague thoughts like deal with Project X into concrete steps, like email Sarah about the timeline for Project X. Super specific. Next, you organize by context and priority. Sorting tasks maybe by area work, personal, community, and making sure they actually line up with your bigger goals. The material also stresses review and reflect regularly, like setting aside maybe 30 minutes each week just to look at your lists, reset priorities, and maybe spot those low-value tasks that are just draining your time. And finally, act with intention. This is about picking just one high-impact task each day, one that really moves the needle on your main goals, and making sure you get it done. Small, consistent wins.
And, for those in leadership roles, there are even advanced reflection exercises. These really push the concepts further, and honestly, they can be transformative. There's the mental bandwidth audit. It prompts you to list, say, your top 10 recurring thoughts, the ones that just loop and drain energy without getting resolved. Then you actually develop a system, a capture and process system, to get them out of your head effectively. The goal is freeing up serious mental real estate.
That sounds amazing.
It really is. Then there's from task to legacy. This exercise asks you to pinpoint the actions you take that directly build towards your long-term impact, aligning with your core values and vision. It ensures your daily grind is actually building something meaningful. And lastly, particularly useful for leaders, is the priority filter. Think of it like a bouncer for your time and energy. Before committing to anything new, you quickly run it through 3 questions. 1, does this align with my core mission and values? 2, what's the real cost if I delay this or don't prioritize it? And 3, can this task be simplified or maybe delegated?
The delegation question.
Yeah.
Crucial.
Absolutely. It's not just about being productive. It's about fiercely protecting your focus for what truly matters, making sure your leadership is effective and aligned with your purpose.
Wow. What a journey we've covered today, exploring the ideas and the journey of redemption. We've really seen how that quiet, consistent commitment to micro decisions paired with genuine self-reflection and these kinds of structured exercises can lead to some pretty major shifts. Real transformation, personally and in leadership. These frameworks, they offer so much value for anyone who wants to, grasp these ideas quickly and actually put them to work.
It really does leave you thinking, doesn't it? Pondering how embracing this whole concept of micro decisions, how could that not only change your own spiritual path or your leadership style, but how might it actually reshape the whole culture, the feeling, the ethos of your church, your ministry, your community? Just imagine the ripple effect, the cumulative impact of all those tiny intentional choices adding up over time.
That is a powerful thought to end on, a real takeaway. And as you mull that over, we really encourage you. Maybe try implementing 1 or 2 of these exercises yourself. Perhaps start small, a weekly reflection time, or just try using that priority filter next time a new request comes your way. You might just unlock some new possibilities for growth, personally and professionally, that you hadn't even considered.